5 products that taste different around the world. Everyday products that we know and love don't always taste the same in different parts of the globe, no matter how many different flavors you've personally tried. Join us as we take you through 5 products that taste different around the world. Let's begin. Hot chocolate. The taste of hot chocolate is widely different all across the globe. Many countries have a much richer and more satisfying taste of hot chocolate than the US. In France, for example, the hot chocolate is made from using cream, sugar, and chunks of chocolate. These are melted together to form an almost fondue-like thick and rich consistency. Other countries, such as Hungary, actually sprinkle a little paprika in their hot cocoa. In Colombia, hot chocolate actually contains cinnamon and even cubes of melted cheese. Mexico also has its own take on hot chocolate, made using sugar, milk, cinnamon, cocoa, and even corn flour. Guinness. Let's talk about the world-famous beer Guinness. This iconic jet black beer tastes very different depending on where you live, with over 22 different variations found across the globe. The difference in taste is usually due to the varying alcohol content found within each of them. The alcohol content is roughly around 4.3% in Ireland and Europe, but almost double that amount, and you will get what is being served in Nigeria. Nigerian Guinness also uses sour gum instead of the commonly used barley, which makes the end product taste reportedly fully flavored and striking. Still, being a distinctively Irish drink, many people believe that the best variety of the drink is actually found in its hometown of Dublin, Ireland. Cadbury. Chocolate connoisseurs have long been adamant that the UK-based Cadbury is far superior to its US counterpart. This is actually scientifically true. The US version is thought to be more bitter, harder, and not as rich, and even having a bitter aftertaste compared to its UK version. The difference in taste is due to the ingredients being used, namely how much cocoa is used, how long it is mixed, and the flavor of the milk being used. The amount of cocoa used in the UK version is slightly more than the US, and the source of the UK version's cocoa is solely from West Africa, while the US version has multiple sources from across the world. The amount of fat content, milk, and sugar used in the two versions also varies considerably, accounting for the varied taste. Coffee. The preparation methods and flavors that people prefer for their coffee varies to such a high degree across the world. The coffee beans that are mostly responsible for a coffee's flavor are affected by the soil, the weather, and even the altitude in which they are grown. For example, let's take Kona coffee. This coffee has beans which grow on the side of an active volcano in Hawaii. This environment allows it to be medium-bodied and perfectly rich, which makes it cost a lot more than your average coffee. The processing of the beans also results in completely different flavors. For example, in Ethiopia, the beans are grown in wild coffee trees instead of big plantations. This completely changes the taste, which is a dark, bold, and earthy kind of flavor. This is merely due to the landscape in which the beans are grown and the subsequent fermentation process that the beans go through. Another example is the coffee luwak. This is one of the most tasty and expensive coffees known to man, but its origins are frankly quite disgusting. In Indonesia, the coffee cherries and the beans inside are given to the Asian palm civet to chew and munch on. The inside of its digestive tract allows the beans to be fermented partially, and then they are excreted out. The beans are then harvested and processed into an unusually smooth and rich-tasting cup of coffee. The art of this process is carefully selecting just the right kind of coffee cherry to give to the civet, and also monitoring the stress levels of the animal. If the right combination of this is struck, the best coffee known to mankind is produced. Moving on from different beans to instant coffee. Even that has variation in flavor. Nescafe produces over 200 different types of flavored coffee, each tailored to specific regions and countries. Fanta. One would expect that aside from packaging, the taste of this popular product would be exactly the same. Nope, you're completely wrong about that. The reason why the taste is different from country to country comes down to the availability of certain ingredients as well as local taste preferences. For example, the taste of orange Fanta tastes different from country to country. While the quality and the type of sugar used in various countries obviously affects the taste of orange Fanta, there are other reasons for this difference in taste. One particular difference changes flavors in a big way. For example, in Italy and Greece, orange Fanta is made from only natural flavors. Perhaps the most important difference in ingredients is that their Fanta actually contains real orange juice. As for the United States, the Fanta is actually made in completely the opposite way. United States Fanta contains absolutely no real orange juice and plenty of artificial flavorings and colorings. On top of that, United States Fanta contains nearly 30% more sugar than its European counterpart. Indeed, people who have tasted both versions of Fanta can vouch for the fact that the European version actually tastes like a carbonated, refreshing orange juice. Meanwhile, the American version tastes like sparkly orange-flavored cough syrup. The differences do not only exist between Europe and America, though. In countries situated in the southeast, such as Vietnam and Thailand, Fanta is again completely different. These countries have a much higher sugar content than the rest of the world, even much higher than the US version of orange Fanta. This amounts to a much sweeter and powerful taste as compared to the others. On top of this, other countries have many different flavors of Fanta which reflect some of the local tastes and cater to local needs and wants. For example, the US has pretty vanilla flavors in the offerings such as grape. But head over to countries such as Bolivia and the experience is completely different. Bolivia has a flavor called Fanta Papaya, owing to the massive popularity of the fruit amongst the local public. Head over to Japan and you will find Fanta Banana and even Fanta Salted Watermelon, both of which are reportedly very tasty and surprisingly good. Another weird flavor made in Japan is called Fanta Milk, which, to be honest, does not sound all that great. Coke. Moving on to good old Coca-Cola. How different can Coke actually be all over the world? Well, it is surprising that even crossing borders from the US to Mexico will completely alter your experience of Coke. Coke from Central and South America would taste different from the Coke you would usually get from the United States. Coke fanatics have reported that South American Coke has a slight hint of root beer flavor to it. But the main cause of debate amongst the Coke fans is the taste of the fabled Mexican Coke. While some cola fanatics believe that Coca-Cola is sweeter in Mexico because of Mexican Coke containing cane sugar instead of the US's Coke using high fructose corn syrup. This is a widely held belief, but let us tell you that it is a complete misconception. Mexican Coke, which is produced solely for the US market, which is specifically labeled Mexican Coke, does indeed have cane sugar as an ingredient instead of high fructose corn syrup. But the Coke that is actually made in Mexico for the consumption of Mexican people is absolutely no different from the one made in the US. Both these products contain the same amount of high fructose corn syrup. While cane sugar was used throughout the world for producing Coke, this practice was changed way back in the 1980s due to the cheaper alternative that was found, namely high fructose corn syrup. Another misconception that we will lay to bed today is that cane sugar produced Coke is sweeter than Coke, which is made up of high fructose corn syrup. This is wrong, as well as the science behind it tells us that high fructose corn syrup is actually 1.5 times sweeter than its natural alternative cane sugar. But you shouldn't despair, as Coke can sometimes even vary in taste within the same country. Coke aficionados will swear by the fact that McDonald's Coke is by far the best tasting Coke out there and is much better than any other distributor. There is actually some evidence behind this which backs up this claim. The reason is that McDonald's actually has a deal with Coke to provide them with Coke syrup in metal containers. This exclusive deal actually makes the Coke retain its untainted flavor, whereas other companies do not get this privilege, and hence their Coke does indeed taste different. Moving on to Diet Coke. This beverage also varies in flavors around the world, but this is not due to different ingredients or storage methods, but actually due to the different carbonation levels as well as the type of sweeteners used. Some countries even have the Coca-Cola Light, which is a slightly sweeter version than the Diet Coke of America due to the sweetener called cyclamates. That's a wrap for 5 products that taste different around the world. What surprised you the most about these taste differences? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.